Heyo, what is up everyone? It is the ALPHAJ of the ALPHAJ show, and today we're going to answer the question, did Kids Next Door start off well? We won't be looking at no P in the OOL, the actual pilot of Kids Next Door, only because I try to use episode 1 as a starting point for when I personally go forward in the series. Plus, considering that the pilot and episode 1 has dramatically different quality, we will be talking about Operation C.A.K.E.D, which aired on December 6th, 2002. I'd like to bring up the title card for this episode, and for this show, really. It has a different feel than the later episodes, and it's kind of interesting, because when you think about Kids Next Door, you probably think about the other sounds that the title card makes. It goes to show that they had an idea and they did it, and then they ironed out the small details as they went forward, which is a great lesson to take from a show that went 6 seasons, 1 crossover, and 2 movies in. We start off the episode with our main antagonist of the episode, the delightful children from down the lane. Yes, they all do talk together. Yes, we all want to know what's behind that person's helmet. Yes, someone in the comment section may give you that answer, if there is one. The children are singing happy birthday in a very dreadful way. Having all of the children sing in this very dry, monotone way that expresses disappointment, it's just so eerie, especially with how our antagonist seems to be enjoying it. They won't be sharing their cake, but they do want the children to sing happy birthday again. Enter the Kids Next Door. If there's one thing I do want to note is the pacing. Now mind you, they improved this later, but in this action series about a kid squad that fights others, you'd expect things to be at least not this slow, as this episode would show. Now because the episode was 7 minutes instead of your usual 11 minutes for a cartoon episode, this means that all 5 characters aren't going to be as fleshed out, and I decided to take that into account because a lot of the episode focuses on about 2 or 3 of the 5 team members. For example, number 2 doesn't really do too much, as he isn't strong enough to break through the glass. So number 1 wants to do this the easy way, and I hope he isn't talking about the animators who use no backgrounds for this particular scene. And of course, because plot they don't accept, and 4 of the 5 major members are locked in, the delightful children from down the lane's house.
I got invited to a birthday party!
Beat it, Squirt! I ain't got no time for no party games!
Oh my god, man, a simple no could have sufficed. I get it, he's aggressive, but the one person you hit out of the 6 people is her? Anyway, number 4 gets crushed, and number 1 decides to go along with the delightful children's plan. This involves a piñata that has number 1's head sticking out of the bottom. Number 3 gets her time to shine, and I gotta say, the star of the episode is not her, not number 1, and not even the delightful children from down the lane. It's this girl, the Big Badolescents, which, guys, that's a really good name. It combines a common saying, the big bad, and it involves a pun, which tells you all you need to know about this character. They could have easily given her a really cute name to contrast that she becomes a ugly teenager. So she's not really cute at all, but nope, they harness the power of the pun. So number 3 misses a lot and hits her teammates. There's nothing really more beyond that. I will say that C.A.K.E.D thrived off of pain-related humor, but unlike shows like Rocket Monkeys and Planet Sheen, they had more than a bare minimum story to make up for it. And I also do appreciate that they didn't forget about number 2. So we get to pin the tail on the donkey, or really one of the members of the Kids Next Door is going to lose an eye.
Number 1, you got a plan or something?
Ahem. Laura, perhaps it's time we opened the birthday presents.
So wait, it actually took someone telling you to actually, do something before you actually wanted to do something? That's really weird. I guess they needed a way to bring the story forward, but it seems like one of those situations where you have to wonder who's really leading the team.
Why don't we start with the red one?
Red present? What red present?
Well, you have this red present here, and if you want to stretch it, this is also a red present. However, when the Big Badolescents, still like that name by the way, becomes present, she reveals the present and presents it to us in this present day. You also realize that she is a wild card, as when the delightful children from down the lane try to divert her attention from the presents back into pinning the tail on the cornea, she almost freaks out on them. This is when you learn that no one really has a grasp on the Big Badolescents, and that whoever has the better plan throughout the birthday controls her emotions. That's probably the best part of this episode, the subtle cleverness throughout that seems to be lost in a large chunk of present day animation. I know, I had to get all my presents out. Maybe they feel like children wouldn't get it or understand or even care, but if you were to ask someone who has watched this before if they remember fondly of it or would want it back, many would still think fondly of it and most likely would want it back. So she reads the phrase that many fans still remember to this day. Kids Next Door, battle state congratulations. And they take the cake. Little did the audience know there's a giant cutting knife because birthday cake. Good thing number 3 and 5 were on the right side, or else they could have been trapped on the delightful children's side, or even worse, well, I present to you number 3.0 and number 3.5. So they leave via hamster because kids, and the big adolescent doesn't want the party to be over, which leads into a slow motion shot, leaving her drenched in cake. I also want to note that the reason no one may have hit her is because they see her as a kid with a condition, rather than a big enemy. Number 4 could have easily booted her in the face. Number 3 could have full circled with the bat and hit her fingers. There's many ways this could have went, but then I feel as though many people would not see them as heroes. I mean, they are stealing a cake and we actually don't know if they're going to share it. We just know that the delightful children are not sharing it. For all we know, they could be taking the cake for themselves. But I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they'd share the cake with all the kids. And as she gets hit with the cake, she lets go of the other half of the house and they leave with the gifts at least. Yes, I'm keeping my promise. This ends with the big adolescents turning on the delightful children when she realizes that the cake is coconut that she and I don't like, and that was Operation Caked. Did Kids Next Door start off well? Actually, I'm going to say yes, but not a strong yes. Like I said with other shows, the pacing in this wasn't that good, and it wasn't a really exciting episode for a show that later became truly exciting. The characters didn't really develop, and it seems like some parts just happened just to happen. Now, I'm viewing this from the perspective of someone who would be watching this from the first time, not as a longtime fan coming back. Would you be interested in this if this is what you first saw? Now, luckily, since people voted for Kids Next Door to be a thing, I'm sure no one really had to worry, but that's just one man's opinion. This operation was sponsored by T-Blocks, who sends personalized merchandise to you based off your interests. They have their own in-house artists or external artists, which they support proudly. Your box is your box, and there's a lot of cool shirts you can get, which based off of my experience look really good, and I'd highly recommend it. It's a neat way to support the channel, and you'd get something back in return, so if you're interested, use the code ALPHAJayTBX, all one word, and if you don't like the shirt, guess what? You can exchange it, so you're getting a lot of great value there. So let me know what you think of this episode in the comments below. Like I said, I view this as if this was the first thing I've ever seen from it. That's what this series is supposed to be. Also, make sure to follow me at the Alpha J Show on Twitter for the latest and greatest in whatever my brain comes up with that I can compress into 280 characters. Also, as you see, I have the community tab, and if you're on a mobile device or if you have a mobile device that you use for YouTube and you want to be notified of any posts I put there, like polls that may lead to other things, or maybe an unlisted video that I want to test out with a small group of people before I make it go public, make sure to tap on that bell and include creator posts. I know, don't get me started, that's YouTube. Take it to YouTube, not me. The links for my Twitter, any of my other social media outlets, and request video is in the description below. This was also a request, so you can see that I am taking them, so leave them in that video, not this video, not this comment section. If you really like this video, check out my Did Blank Start Off Well playlist for more videos like this. Make sure to subscribe and feel free to consider my Patreon. As always, I hope your time was well spent, and Alpha out.